Good morning and welcome, Patriot News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. I hope it finds you well out there. For all of you in the Valley of the Sun, oh boy, get ready. Tomorrow it's going to get hot. And Thursday we're going to have some record-breaking. The last I saw, depending on which newscast, 112 to 114, somewhere in the, we'll split the difference. We'll just call it 113 on Thursday. That's a little earlier than normal, but we'll see. The consecutive days over 100, the countdown's already started, right? Countdown's already started. Like today will be a beautiful day. 104, 105, that's not a big deal here. But yeah, 113, yeah, that's getting up there a little bit. It's going to be another hectic summer. Big hurricanes expected, if you can believe that. You know, at least that's what they're saying. A record amount of hurricanes. I can just see it now. We'll blame it on the weather. That'll probably be in the forecast here over the next 90 days. For some reason, some prices going out of control. We'll blame it all on the weather. But today, it's a down day. It is a big down day pretty much everywhere. OPEC, you know, it's weird. Oil is way down. Now, it was down yesterday, down again today, into the low 70s. And I guess it just depends on how you wanted to read it. OPEC just they maintained what they were going to do, which was they had planned to up production in October. They said they would. Of course, with this move now, they'll probably come out and say, never mind, we're not going to do that, right? But India is really the big story today. They had their presidential elections. Modi was supposed to win in a landslide. Wasn't supposed to be close. It didn't happen that way. They'll barely have a majority. They thought that they would. In India, they need 272 for a majority. They won 350 seats in the last election. Jason, right now they're hoping for 290, but apparently, they say he still won. But apparently that got everybody freaked out. Markets are down. Indian markets down substantially today. I will say this. It is a great opportunity to be putting silver away today. Just keep that in mind. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. But, Jason, again, it looks as though things continue to slow. Maybe it's slowing everywhere, right? I think a lot of people are like, gosh, why didn't the Modi, the Indian president, why didn't his party win by a landslide? Maybe the economy there isn't as good as people are thinking. Of course, I think I've got a pretty good idea. Everybody around the world is sick of inflation. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, for countries that aren't suffering as much inflation, they are dealing with countries that do have a ton of inflation. You can't... with the way the world is set up, you can't really escape it unless you're isolated. There's no isolated nations anymore. So, you know, I've watched, you know, Joe, we've been watching the inflation in these different countries across the world, you know, and how that just flares up all of a sudden all fast. And unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, all these countries still spend dollars, Joe. I mean, as much as they're de-dollarizing, they all spend dollars, and when the dollar is inflated, your currency versus that will probably be inflated as well. It's just costing a lot more to get everything. And Joe, what do these nations do when they're having their economic problems? They print. I mean, China's in the middle of printing. They're not raising rates, right, Joe? They're lowering rates.
Yeah, and, you know, you talk about India repatriated 100 tons of gold. Now reports are out. Get ready. They weren't done. They're saying in the coming months that number could double or triple. Essentially, India is basically taking, like a lot of countries, hey, you know what? Not only will we buy gold, we're going to buy gold, and we're not going to store it in New York or London. We're going to keep it right here at home. Today, it's jobs week, so all week. So today we got JOLTS. This is job openings. This is it was the lowest number since COVID, since the lockdowns. The lowest number of job openings, barely above 8 million. Now that's kind of getting back to what I would say used to be the jobs number. Of course, when you think about all the amount of people entering the country, that's not a great sign. But inside of that, they talked about hiring and said hiring is now back to 2018 levels. So this is a big drop back in hiring. And I've been talking to my friends. I've got a lot of friends, small business owners, people that employ 30, 40, 50 people, a lot of them in the food industry, the bar industries. And amazing what they're talking about, saying, hey, yeah, all those jobs I had a hard time filling, they're not hard to fill anymore. Matter of fact, some of the places that I talked to, some of my friends who have literally, they never stop hiring because, they're low-end jobs, have said, yeah, I'm full, right? I'll take an application, but Jason, they have no plans to hire anybody. And now they're starting to talk about here in Arizona, in the summer, everybody that can afford it leaves town. It looks like the summer slowdown is arriving here in Arizona. We haven't seen that since COVID. So we'll see what the jobs numbers say for the rest of this week. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason will be back right after the 800-951-0592 is the air. Coming out of the bubble remains to be seen. In India, they had to shut the machines off. Their stock market was down 8.5%, tripping a circuit breaker. They had to call timeout, right? Hey, everybody, let's calm down a little bit. It's got all the markets pretty upset here. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, they're all over the 10-year note. Man, this thing is crazy. 4, 3, 5. Yeah, hey, just enjoy it. The bond, again, remember what the bond market's job. The bond market really is to tell you, hey, there's trouble, right? There's trouble in the debt market. So it actually kind of makes sense today with what happened with India. Obviously, the jobs number, the JOLTS number, companies pulling down the hiring side. That's let's not get carried away. It wasn't like it was 6 million, 7 million. I mean, it's still just above 8, but well below where we have been. And if you take the last two numbers, you're talking about a reduction of over 600, almost 700,000 less job openings, and I've got a funny feeling this number is going to continue to come down. Crude oil down $1.35. It was down $2-3 yesterday. I mean, crude oil this week down at like $5, 72.86 right now on crude oil. Again, this OPEC thing, I don't know. I didn't read what the markets read, but okay, whatever you say. Gold's down 27, 23.41. Silver down $1.10 right now. Big sale on Silver Eagles today. Because why? Because they haven't been this inexpensive since silver was below $28. So take advantage of that. On the currency side, the dollar down against the yen very heavily. I don't know if there was more yen intervention or not, but up against the euro and the pound sterling, if that matters. A bunch of crappy currencies competing against each other. But remember what we said. The need to be diversified and really diversified, probably bigger than ever here. We've been talking for years now about our friends over at YRefi. You get great fixed rates of return. You decide how long. You want to go a year to 5 years. You pick it. Obviously, if you go 5 years, they're going to give you 10.25% fixed rate of return. What does that mean? It means it doesn't change. But what if this happens? What if that happens? I mean, what if in the U.S. the stocks hit a circuit breaker, right? Because they fell so much. So still 10.25. Doesn't change. Doesn't change at all. You can turn your income on. You can turn it off. Like I said, a lot of our listeners have been using it as income. Some of you guys compound it. But why do it? Obviously, the rate of return's pretty good. I mean, even if you said, oh, I'll try it for a year, they'll give you 6.5%. But why do it? And the answer is simple, because they're not correlated to Wall Street. Be more diversified in your portfolio. You know, obviously you got to have that gold and silver put away, but you don't put all your money into gold and silver. You don't put all your money into the stock. If the only place you got money is the stock market, you're going to regret it, and you're going to regret it really soon. Check out Why Refi. If you've got more than $50,000, invest, whyrefi.com. That's the word invest, the letter Y, REFY.com, or just call them at 888 Why Refi 24. But Jason, it's never a good sign, right? When all of a sudden on 8th, you didn't win the election big enough, and you've got to shut off your debt markets because people are panicking. But I tell you right now, this is what happens when there's these big bubbles in these markets. You don't know. You'll wake up, everything's fine. And I always talk about, hey, how did you go bankrupt? Well, it's really gradual, right? It was gradual, it was a little bit, and then all of a sudden you woke up one day and it was over. That's what happens when bubbles burst, right? Things like that. It doesn't, you don't get advance warnings, right? Matter of fact, hey, Modi was supposed to win by a landslide, and it just didn't happen. And next thing you know, here we go, and now all of the markets are kind of on their back foot.
These things are going to happen, right, Joe? There's going to be turbulence. The amount of ups and downs will start to get even more regular as things move further down this process that we're in, Joe. Because it's not the things that are set up aren't set up to the way it's set up at this moment, and especially in this country, but the rest of the world is it's not. It's going to be turbulent. There's going to be a lot of volatility, and so when I see these down days, Joe, it doesn't. Especially obviously, we're a gold and silver buyer. You listen to the show, and you don't want to hear that gold's down $27, but there's those guys out there that have been buying a long time. They buy the dips, right, Joe? I'm
if you're the opposite. I'm a guy. I want it. I'd rather buy down 27 than up 27. That's just me, right? But that's a harder thing to do, right? Because emotionally, right? Because what if it falls? What if it goes down again tomorrow? So what? Listen, I've been doing this since 2003. Gold was $300 when I started. Do you think it really matters, right? If it goes down $20, $30, $40, $50? No, because why? Because we're in the great bubble. We're in this huge printing phase. And like Jason said, we're not the only ones printing. Everybody's printing, right? Because they don't know what else to do. Because that's all they've done for decades now, and when we've hit this point of no return. But again, we just got central bank data. Guess what happened, guys? No shocker here. Oh, another month, more central bank gold buying. Wow, there's a big shocker, right? And the list keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's a reason why they're doing it, and I love it. Today, like I said, silver, it's a silver day today. This is what you want to take advantage of. Silver's down, $1 and change right now. Take advantage. U.S. Silver Eagles. Listen, these were $825 a roll last week. They were. And we're as cheap as they came out there. $755 today on rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. $755. That's almost $75 an ounce less than where they were last week. You want a case of them? 18,000 $7.50. The cases of Silver Eagles were like 22,000 or 20,500 last week. So again, big savings here. If you're a Silver Eagle guy, today's your day. We got 5-ounce silver bars at $165. We got rounds, you name it. But Jason, these are buying days for sure, especially because this was one of those weird events, right? This is, holy crap, we got to shut down the Indian stock market. Remember, India's getting ready to become the 5th largest GDP country in the world, so it's a big deal.
Yeah. So if you can buy silver when it's like this, it's a great buy. I mean, can't help it if you're buying it when it peaks for a short time. But we're not going to be below 825 a roll on Silver Eagles for a very long time, right, Joe? This is not a trend where we're going sideways in silver. Silver is primed and ready. If it shoots off in a month or shoots off in 2 months or whatever, it doesn't really matter. When you see it at 755 a roll, Joe, that's a great price. That's a great price knowing what's going to happen with silver. Silver really is, I mean, I've never seen so much attention and so much noise about how silver is going to take off. And so when it goes down $1 an ounce, it's of course doesn't make a lot of sense, but buy it if you're listening. If you're thinking, man, I'm going to wait and see how far down it goes. Well, that's fine. People were doing that in January before silver took off from $23 an ounce to where it is now, right, Joe? They'd say, sat around and waited. Oh, maybe it'll go down a little more, right, Joe? Maybe it'll go down more. Well, good luck on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that at all. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? Just take advantage of it because here's the thing. This is a physical thing, right? The paper markets, and really, it started with crude oil, right? When you see crude oil fall like that, then you throw what happened in India on it. A bunch of people just running for cover. They're just selling everything, right? Hey, I'm just going to sell. I'm going to let the market settle here, and then I'll rebuild my positions. If we're waiting to buy silver, wanting to buy silver, wanted a lower price, today's your day at 800-951-0592. So not only did job openings decline, healthcare, social services down 200,000. Government jobs, local. This is local government. This is another one to watch for, right? Because most of the states, I think it's 46 of the 50 states, fiscal year starts in July. And we know the tax revenues and all of those things are a big issue. They've spent all the COVID money. They went drunk with COVID money. All the states have spent it all, and now they've gotten used to these big governments locally, and now the money's not going to be there. So not surprised to see that happening. But the biggest thing was really the drop in construction jobs. So this is another one. Construction spending numbers were out yesterday. Not good, right? I mean, housing has really slowed. On top of that, nobody's building, commercial office space. So those are things to look for. And then the bigger thing, which was talking about hiring in this number today, it just really didn't look very good. Plunging by 118,000 quits, really not moving, so people aren't quitting their job. Right, that's another indication that the job markets may be slowing. They're still expecting on Friday 180,000 jobs. So we'll see how that comes out. But at least in the JOLTS data today, Jason, pretty across the board, the whole job market has definitely slowed. And I know this. A lot of these college graduates, so I know I'm right in that. My oldest is going to be 25 this year. My youngest, right, he just finished his junior year of college. So I know a lot of kids that are graduating college this year. All the parents are saying the same thing. jobs are really hard to come by for these kids, and they're having to take jobs that, well, once again, gosh, why the heck did I go to college to take that job?
Yeah, that's a tough thing, Joe, because so many people send their kids to college with high hopes of a future, and every single year it seems like there's less and less future for going to college. That kid that goes to college has to know what exactly their plan is, know the direction they're really shooting for, and quite frankly, Joe, most of the college kids I've talked to over the years, they're in college, they still don't even really know what they want, right? They may have picked what they're going to be shooting for their, for their graduation, their study, but no plan, right, Joe? You have to know what you're doing. College doesn't work if you don't know, if you don't really know where you're shooting for, Joe, and it's an unfortunate thing for a lot of kids. It's not good for college kids, Joe.
Well, we're going to see. We'll see how this plays out. It's early. It is early. We're going to get ADP jobs number tomorrow, jobless claims on Thursday, the government job number on Friday. But, again, I think it's safe to say it's definitely slow. Is it crashing? Not yet. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Tuesday. A quick update now. Things getting a little worse, I guess, if you will, in India now. CNBC is now reporting that Modi, the Indian president, his party now only going to win 239 seats. So they will not have a majority. They're going to need to form some form of a coalition with another group, because you need at least 272 to have that. And this is I guess, a party that's held the majority here for years and years and years. They could pass any bill they wanted. So things have definitely gotten worse there, as it looks like now. They will not have a majority and will have to form a coalition. Remember, the Indian stock market was already shut once today after it fell 8.5% in a matter of an hour or two, right? Pretty quickly. We'll see how it shakes out. 8 central banks increased their gold holdings in April. Another, 33 metric tons bought. The buyers, we know the names: India, China, Turkey. But something big also happening today when it comes to Turkey. Now, remember, Turkey is some people may not know this. They're a NATO country. They're in NATO. Reports out of Turkey today. Matter of fact, the Turkish foreign minister was in China yesterday. Why is that a big deal? Well, that is by far the highest level Turkish official to be in China in over 12 years. So this is something new. When they talked about BRICS, the Turkish prime minister said, we would like to join, of course. Why would we not? So this is a big step up here. Of course, all of a sudden now, and Turkey's been buying and selling gold for a long time, but very active once again in the buying markets. A statement from BRICS, which already comprises Brazil, India, Russia, China, South Africa, Ethiopia, Iran, Egypt, the UAE, saying that they're excited about the Turkish commitment to joining, but they said that they have so many, listen to this, they have so many nations wanting to join. It is unlikely that the group can completely satisfy all interested nations. However, they said they would definitely take up Turkish membership at the next scheduled BRICS summit. So Jason, here we go. This BRIC coalition seemingly every year now, hey, we're just adding, and the amount of countries expressing interest in joining continues to grow.
Well, I mean, they're offering an alternative, aren't they, Joe? The BRICS is offering something that on its face looks like the next thing, right? Anytime the system that you're in looks weak, and anybody who looks at the system that's in place is weak, there's going to be a change. The new thing gets introduced, or a new thing, right? And that's what the BRICS is. And Joe, I don't know about you. I don't trust the BRICS as any kind of solution at all, you know. And maybe they can have this basket of currencies to back the currency. Whatever they make out of it, I won't fall for it, Joe. I won't fall for it. I'm not a big fan of the dollar either, but you know.
Yeah. Well, again, is it different? No. It's the same, but they're saying we're going to have our place at the table. Here's the thing that why we talk about it so much, because again, it's turning away from. What are they turning away from? That's the important part. What they're turning away from is the dollar. How about we'll call it the West, right? The dollar, the euro, the sterling, the yen. And they're saying, hey, we don't want to use those currencies as much as we have to right now. And by joining BRICS, we can use the renminbi, we can use our own currencies, right? The Brazil, we can do reals. Russia, right? They can use the rubles, right? They can use their own currencies. They can make their own agreements, right, as to what currency they use. But it's the ability to buy things, not having to use dollars, not having to use euros, yens, whatever it may be. And it's a turning away from the West. And what do these countries have in common? They all tend to become gold buyers as they start getting ready to either join the BRICS, or once they've entered into the BRICS, seemingly, Jason, these countries start buying gold.
And they've been buying gold, haven't they, Joe? And especially central banks have been buying gold on a record pace. And really, when you're talking about countries, you know, who's really in charge, right, Joe? Is it the country? Is it their government that's in control, or is it the central bank that runs the economy of these nations? So, there's a lot of gold buying, going on.
And you know, when we get back, it's been something what I've had multiple people now. What do I do with gold? What do I do with the silver that I bought? How do I use it? How does it become money, right? And look at what these central banks are doing as they buy it, right? How are they going to use it, right? How is it going to benefit them by holding something other than dollars? So when we get back, I want to talk about that, because I think there's so many new people to gold and silver. They don't quite understand how it all works. And of course, their financial planners and all these other people, they're still begging them to hold on and not do it, trying to make it more complicated than it is. It's actually a really, really simple process. But when we get back, why are you holding gold and silver? And how do you use it, right? How do you, I'll use the word, how do you spend it when that time comes? And it's no different than what these central bank countries that have been buying gold, all these countries saying, hey, I want to hold less dollars. I want to hold less dollars. Why do they want to hold less dollars? Because they think the dollar, right, is going to have trouble. And I think they're right, but we'll get to that next. I think that's a really important question, and we're going to try to answer that here between now and the end of the show. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason will be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Silver's like down to like over $1, like $1.10, $29.54. $29.54. Silver Eagle Day today. Rolls a Silver Eagle, $755. That's what, 70. I mean, last week they were $825. So add it up, throw it in there, stack it up. Cases of Silver Eagle, save another $5 a roll. 18,750. These things are approaching 21,000 a case just a week ago. 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number. Just tell the girls you want the special, and then just tell them how many you like. But, Jason, we're going to assume for a minute you already know why you need to have it, right? Debt, printing, inflation, right? The fact of the matter is we boom and bust cycles, and now we've kind of figured out, well, how much debt was too much? I think we've gotten there, right? We realize, gosh, $1 trillion every 100 days? Yeah, that dog doesn't hunt very long. And I think people understand that. Hey, this is why I need to diversify. Right? If you were a McDonald's, if you're a McDonald's franchise, how about that? You're a McDonald's franchise. 2019, you got $1 million in the bank. Today, that $1 million only buys $600,000 worth of stuff for that franchise owner. Right? That's what happened by keeping his savings in dollars. That's what happened to him. He lost 40% of his buying power, and all of us have. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But how do you use it? And this is, I think, where people really get misled, because people want to make it, oh, it's so hard. Well, how are you going to spend it? Yeah, how are you going to? You can't take a roll of Silver Eagles to the grocery store. Well, you could. That'd be dumb, but you could. Let me ask you this. How do you spend your 401k? How do you spend your IRA? Hey, you got Apple stock. How do you spend? You take your Apple stock to the store? Of course not. Of course not. You can't take any of that. You can't say, well, I took my 401k statement to the store. Guess what? You ain't getting anything for that. You obviously need to what? You need to sell it to turn it back into whatever the exchange medium is at that time. Right now, it's still dollars. As an example, yesterday, I had a guy come in, right, a longtime customer. Hey, I need to buy a piece of equipment. I need to sell $20,000. I'm going to sell some gold. I'm going to sell some silver. It's just that simple. And now he's got the money to go and buy whatever it is that he needed to buy or she needed to buy. What about a digital currency? Now what am I going to do? If we're digital, it's the same thing. The only difference is when you come in, right? I won't pay you in cash, because who wants that? Nobody will want it, right? You'll get paid electronically. Be like a bank wire, right? Hey, give me your account, right? Give me your digital ID number, your central bank digital currency ID number. Bam, here you go. There's your money's in your account. And then you turn around and buy things. Now, in a situation in lawlessness, let me tell you right now, it will not take but, I don't know, give it days of lawlessness. And what I mean by lawlessness, I mean there's nothing. There's no power. Right? There's no law. The stores aren't open, right? After the looting's over, right? Believe me, gold and silver will be one of the few things that whoever's in power in your area will want. Are they going to want $100 bills? No, why would they want $100 bills? They're just a piece of paper with color on it, with some designs, right? There's nothing behind any of that fiat money. But that's how people, I think people think, oh my gosh, it'll be so hard. It'll be so hard to use it. No, it's really easy. As a matter of fact, selling gold and silver, and you believe me, some places are better than others. There are places like you have an IRA. Maybe you can get your money in a couple of weeks. Maybe. Right? If you got to borrow from your 401k, I don't know, how long is that process? 6 weeks? Right? Selling gold and silver, it's faster than any of those things. And here's the best part. You want $5,000, $10,000, you just come in, here you go. If you want to sell a lot of gold and silver, we'll actually partner with you if you want and let you retail out and get an even better price. And even that, all that stuff, Jason, it goes really quickly. It's one of the easier ways when you talk about an investment of getting money quickly.
Yeah, I get those questions like Joe's talking about. It's like, what do I do? What do I do if this, if that? And Joe, I mean, there's been goldsmiths and silversmiths for how many centuries, right? Take jewelry, melt it down, put it in a little bar, make it into a coin. I always say, look, no matter what the situation is, and no matter what part of the world you're in, there's always a rich guy on the hill that'll buy every ounce of gold and silver you got. There's never going to be a way of quenching the thirst for it because it's a precious metal. They use the word precious because there's not as much of those metals per human walking around versus, common metals, right, Joe? Right. That's why it's used as money.
800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Tuesday. I guess the big shock election in India has got everything on its back foot today, but it just huge opportunity, at least in my opinion, huge opportunity in the silver markets today. U.S. Silver Eagles, $755 a roll. If you want to buy a case, the Green Monster box. That's 25 rolls of 20 ounces. Each roll's got 20 ounces of silver in it. A monster box. It's like a big shoebox. Weighs about 42 pounds. It's got 500 ounces of silver. Save another $5 there. $18,750. Buy the case today at 800-951-0592. And it's interesting, Jason, because a lot of people don't believe that that's it. It's just that simple. Like, it has to be more complicated. No. Think about this. What's the most likely scenario? And the most likely scenario, pretty simply put, is they're going to continue to print money. That's the most likely scenario. And they'll continue over time to change what they say money is. Right? Remember, money used to be gold and silver here in this country. Right? Then the bankers got in power and took the gold away. And now say this fiat paper with colors on it, that's money. Right? Debt is money. That's what they say. Now, all of us, I think, agree that's about ready to come to an end, and we'll go to some form of digital money. It just goes on and on and on, right? And, of course, why do you have gold and silver? Because it does really well when all they do is print money. Think about the low of gold and silver. Right after Alan Greenspan said we're going to pay off the debt by 2010, right? Gold was $250. England sells all its gold, $250. And then they realized those guys were full of crap. And now look at what it's doing. The least likely scenario, at least for me, Jason, is There's no law anymore. It's complete lawlessness. There's no power. You can't go to the store. You're going to be dealing with local militia, motorcycle gangs, and all that stuff. You know, you've seen those movies. That's probably the least likely scenario, but just in case, Silver Eagles are a great thing to have in that environment as well. Do I think that's likely? Probably not. At least I hope not. Gosh, that'd be terrible. Could you imagine no power on Thursday and it's 114 degrees in the Valley of the Sun? Yeah, that'd be a big problem. That'd be a big problem, wouldn't it? But it is so easy to buy and sell silver. They just gave you the illusion that it was hard. Jason, it hasn't been hard. It hasn't been hard. It wasn't hard in the 70s. It wasn't hard in the 80s. And it's not hard today.
That's right, Joe. That's right. It's something once you, I guess there's a little bit of a learning curve, but that's just because, I haven't been taught this stuff in school for how long, right? But once you figure it out, it's pretty easy. It's always comforting, too, to have it in your possession.
Yeah. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, wrapping it up for the day. Jason and I, we're coming right back with the half-empty cup.